All right. So this is actually one of my, like top 10 lessons because I find it really interesting. We talked about correlation, and correlation is saying whether or not the dots are tightly grouped around the fitted line. What they can't tell you is whether or not it is a correlation or actually an association. Okay. So, what we're talking about today is the difference between whether or not two things happen to look linked on a graph versus whether they are really linked in real life. A study found that the more hours students spent on activities outside of school, the higher their grades tended to be. Does that mean if you go sign up for more activities, your grades will go up? So, if I just go and sign up for like one of everything, so I join math team and I join the yearbook committee and I'm in basketball and I decide that I'm also going to be in the theater group, joining four clubs, is that going to be the cause of my grade going up? And the answer is no. Those two things tend to be highly associated with one another just because of other factors, like kids who are highly motivated in one area tend to be highly motivated in other areas as well. Kids who tend to excel in music also tend to excel in math. But if you are like the most amazing guitarist on the planet, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get A's in math class. Another study found a link between how often you brush your teeth and a reduction in heart disease. Does that mean if you brush your teeth twice a day, your heart will be healthier? Well, most people would say no, but there's probably something in the middle there, that the person who brushes their teeth every day, who is aware of that, general health habit, probably also does other general health habits like eating well or exercising. So they may be associated with one another, but maybe the toothbrushing is not the thing that causes your heart to be healthier. There's something else in between. As a consumer of statistical information, you need to be aware of the difference between association and causation. Today's investigation will explore that difference. Fire hoses come in different diameters. How far the hose can throw water depends on the diameter of the hose. The Smallville Fire Department collected data about their fire hoses. The residual plot for the data is shown at right. What does it tell you about the least square residual line? Well, it tells you that a linear model was probably not your best choice, right? Because it looks to me like this residual plot has a pretty hefty curve going on. So when you have that, that tells you that it wasn't linear, it was curved, probably exponential. So when we look here, it says, the first question, the residual plot has a U-shaped pattern, so linear model may not have been the best choice. Determine the worst prediction made. How different was the worst prediction from what was actually observed? So the worst prediction looks to me, you've got this dot way over here with a residual of like negative 24, meaning that whatever it was supposed to do, it did 24 less than what we thought it was going to do. And this particular set of data said that they were measuring how far the hose can throw the water. So the 3.5-inch diameter hose threw the water 24 units less than we thought it was going to. So if we look, this one is measured in feet. So we used a 3.5-inch diameter hose. The residual is negative 24. We thought it was going to throw the water 24 feet further than it actually did. That's a huge problem for a firefighter. If they get to a fire and they think that they can stand 24 feet further away, now they get there, the water's not going as far as they thought. Pretty big problem. Make a conjecture about what the original scatter plot might have looked like. So what you've got here are 1, 2, 3, 4 points that are negative residuals. And then clumped in the middle, you've got 3 that are pretty significant positive residuals. And then you come back down with 1 positive and another clump of 3 negatives. So if you were to graph that, you might get something like this, where you've got 3 negative residuals, and then you've got the 3 or 4 that are above the line, and then you've got 3 that are below the line. It's a little harder to see the curve when you're looking at the original scatter plot, which is why we do residual plots to begin with. So something to think about. Next, the mayor of Smallville finds the following graph in the town's annual financial report. Describe the association, if any, in the scatter plot. Well, it appears to be positive. I wouldn't say it's strong. I'd say it's probably moderate. Appears to be linear, going up to the right, and there don't appear to be any significant outliers. The mayor immediately orders the fire department to send fewer firefighters to each fire so there's less damage. Why do you think the mayor said this? Well, down here we've got number of firefighters at the fire. So as the number of firefighters goes up, the amount of damage in money is going up. So he's saying, well, if I send more firefighters, it's going to cost me more money. Please, it does mean that there is an association. Somehow, low firefighters, low money damage, high number of firefighters, high money damage. They are associated. But do you really think that sending more firefighters is causing the higher damage? No, we're sending more firefighters because there's a bigger fire. The bigger fire is causing the more damage, not the more firefighters. So what you're looking for is some link, something in between the two causing them to be associated. So the firefighters are not causing more damage. The big fire causes more damage. It also causes you to have more firefighters. So they are associated, but one is not the cause of the other. 482, a dietitian studying the benefits of eating spinach surveyed a large sample of individuals. She recorded the amount of spinach they ate and their physical strength. The dietitian found the spinach eaters to be much stronger than the non-spinach eaters. The next day, the newspaper headline was, Popeye was right, eating spinach makes you stronger. So, do you think the spinach itself is the cause of the people being stronger? And we're going to say no, or at least probably not. There's a lot of other factors. Spinach eaters, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know a whole lot of people that just really love spinach. I know a lot of kids whose parents make them eat spinach or some other form of dark greens. But probably there's another reason that spinach eaters are physically strong. These are also people who happen to work out a lot. People who are eating healthy, take care of their bodies in other ways as well. So are there going to be some people who eat spinach who are weak? Sure. Of the people who do eat spinach, we're saying that there's probably another factor, i.e. healthy lifestyle, working out a lot, that's really the cause of them being physically strong. So they're associated with each other, but not the cause of the other. The dietitian correctly found an association. What could explain it other than the idea that the spinach is what makes you stronger? The working out, other healthy food choices, a generally healthy life. Maybe this person is vegetarian or vegan, and so they're not also gaining weight from other, like fats and carbs and things like that. So they might appear to be stronger compared to their body weight or compared to their height, things like that. So a lurking variable is a hidden variable that was not part of the study. And that's what we're talking about. That's that link, the big fire being the cause, the working out being the reason the person is healthier or stronger. The lurking variable is the thing that we're looking for to link the actual causation instead of just the association. A medical study found a strong link between the number of hours high school students wear a helmet and the number of concussions or head injuries. However, it's unlikely that wearing helmets causes head injuries. Can you think of a lurking variable that might explain the association? So why are people wearing helmets a lot? Who are people that wear helmets a lot? People that play contact sports, maybe people who ride bicycles, like mountain bikers, people that bike competitively, people on motorcycles. So it's probably the contact sport or the activity that's causing the concussion and not the helmet itself, I really hope. So what we have here is a neat little table about hearing loss. And there tends to be some things that are causes and some things that are associated. So eating a lot of prunes and hearing loss tend to be associated. What's the lurking variable? Age. Hearing loss and false teeth. Lots of people with hearing loss also have false teeth. What's the association? Yeah, okay, they're associated with each other, but the cause is age. Hearing age and gray hair, those are associated with each other. One doesn't cause the other. What's the association? Age. So what we're looking at here are things that cause each other. Being a senior citizen tends to cause gray hair, right? Being older tends to be the cause of the gray hair. Being older tends to be the cause of having a lot of long-term noise exposure. Being older tends to cause the need for false teeth. Being older tends to cause the reason that you eat the prunes. All of those things associated with hearing loss, but being older, your age, is the cause of the hearing loss and not the false teeth, not the prunes, not the hair, and not the long-term noise exposure. All right, last but not least, I love these. These are so much fun for me. Here are some newspaper headlines from actual observational studies. Each of them found an association. Some even imply a cause and effect relationship. Guys, these are the things that you read in those tabloid magazines, the ones like in England, it's called OK. In the United States, oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. The Enquirer, National Enquirer, where they take an association and they just blow it out of proportion. Calcium in diet may cut risk for some cancers. So it says the kind of person that has more calcium in their diet may be a generally more health conscious person. They might exercise, they might smoke less. So the person who's careful and like taking a supplement of calcium, the calcium itself might not be the cause for the risk cutting towards cancer. It might be all of the other things that they also do that are healthy. So a person who is taking vitamins, the calcium itself might not be the cause. It's the fact that they take all of their vitamins, that they exercise, that they don't smoke, all of those other health conscious activities. Study, family time declines as web use booms. Well, at the same time that web use boomed, meaning time spent on the internet, fast food consumption went up as well. People are busy. It's not so much that the family time went down directly because of the internet, but at the same time, people got busy. So the fact that people are busy caused them to not eat dinner at the table together as much. The fact that they are busy is the reason that they're on the internet. So it's not so much the internet that caused them or the access to the internet that caused the family time to decline. It's all of the other stuff that happened as well, like generally being busy and not just busy because of the internet. Chocolate is linked to depression. Oh, I don't like this one at all. Eating more chocolate could cause weight gain, and the extra chocolate causing weight gain could cause the depression and not the chocolate itself. Most people say eating like 1 or 2 squares of dark chocolate a day is actually really good for you. But if you're gaining weight because of the amount of chocolate, the weight gain could be the cause for your mental health declining and not the chocolate itself. I certainly hope not anyway, or I'm going to need to find something to substitute the amount of chocolate that I consume. Study, kids who are spanked have lower IQs. So we might look at something like kids prone to misbehavior may have gotten spanked more often, but it's not the spanking that caused the problem or the lower IQ. The misbehavior may actually be linked to something else as well. They may have a learning disability or learning difficulty, or maybe they're in an environment that makes it very hard for them to take some sort of IQ test. Like maybe they were taking the IQ test and the kid behind them was tapping on their back, and maybe the kids that are around them are making noise. And so there could be other factors for a lower IQ that's not a direct result of the being spanked. There could be other misbehaviors. There could be learning disabilities. There could be school environment. There could be home environment, all kinds of other things, and not just the spanking itself being the cause of the lower IQ. Last, lack of health insurance kills 45,000 a year. Now, it might not be the lack of health insurance itself. We're looking for a lurking variable. Not only does the person not have health care, that might be because they're unemployed. They might be unemployed, meaning they're also not doing other healthy things. They might not have heat. They might not have shelter. They might not have healthy food choices. So there's lots of other things as well besides the lack of health insurance that could cause the extra deaths, meaning the unemployment could cause you to not have heat and shelter. The unemployment could cause you to be making less healthy food choices. So these are not the only answers. These are not the only lurking variables. These just happen to be, one lurking variable. Come up with one of your own news headlines. You are welcome to do this and submit it to me just for fun if you're interested. But fact 1, facial tissue linked to colds and flus. Statement 2, Surgeon General calls for a shift to paper towels. It's just really funny, right? If people are like, wow, when we get colds and flus, there's an awful lot of tissues being used. It wouldn't make sense for the Surgeon General to be, stop using tissues. shift to paper towels. Like that would be your news headline. And you'd be like, this is ridiculous. This person clearly doesn't understand that the tissues are not causing the cold and the flu, but they are associated. So you're welcome to do this one if you want and turn it into me. I'd love to check them out. Bye.